evening and welcome to this year's Mayfield Cruces game. As you may know, this is the 9th biggest rivalry in the nation. We're your hosts tonight. I'm Courtney Gavin.
And I'm Emerson Morrow. That's right, the Trojans and the Bulldogs have been duking it out for 47 years, ever since Mayfield opened in 1965. So Courtney, what did you think of that performance from the Las Cruces High School Marching Band?
Oh, Emerson, that was phenomenal. They did a really good job and it shows that they've been working hard all year. Oh, by the way, go Dogs!
No. Go Trojans. Now let's send it out to the field for the playing of the national anthem.
And now the national anthem conducted by Assistant Band Director Sarah Reed and the Mayfield High School Band.
So the Bulldogs will be the first team to get the ball here tonight, and the Bulldogs will travel from the south to the north. So Greg, I'm guessing that the Trojans picked the wind in the first quarter, but as I look at the flags, it looks like the Trojans are kicking into the wind. That's an interesting decision they made.
Well, there's a little bit of breeze out of the south, but it's not significant. The American flag is lying just maybe a 2 or 3 mile an hour wind, and the New Mexico flag looks like maybe a 5 or 6 mile an hour wind. It's not significant, and of course we're down in the bowl, so it doesn't make a big difference.
Yeah, it's not nearly as bad as we thought it would be when we arrived at the stadium hours ago. All right, Trojans have it teed up. Jimenez is the kicker for the Mayfield Trojans. Jesse, a sophomore, and a fine kicker, and we are underway. The kick sails to Quezada. He takes it at the 8-yard line, up the hash to the 20, to the 25-yard line, and taken down hard there. So the Bulldogs have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line with 11:54 to play in the opening quarter. Jeff Matthews, Greg Berry, Brad Beasley along with you on the Bulldog Trojan Night and Hawk Radio Network, and we are ready for this one. Oscar Payens, the referee tonight. Paul Laporte's working as the umpire. I wonder how that happened.
I think they were just looking for the best crew they could put together.
Yeah, it's kind of an all-star crew. J.E. Wells is a linesman. This may be some of the best and most experienced officials in the city. Jonathan Joy fires going long, and the pass is incomplete at the 47-yard line. Penalty marker flies. The Trojans were lobbying for offensive pass interference.
Yeah, and you're going to have a push off there by the Las Cruces High Bulldog. He tried to go up and make a play and push down the Mayfield defender on that play.
And I think that's Cameron Dixon, who I think is wearing 3 tonight instead of 44. And Joy's wearing 2 instead of 7. So, I mean, we got all kinds of things going on here. It's a broadcaster's nightmare.
It does not make broadcasting easy when you're trying to figure out who's who down here.
Luckily, we've seen them all year, and that was, the Bulldogs don't even list a 3. That looked like Cameron Dixon to me. Penalties against Dixon, by the way, and it moves the Bulldogs back to the 12-yard line. The line of scrimmage was a 25, so it works out as a 13-yard penalty, and it's still 1st down. 1st down and long for the Dogs. The ball at their own 12-yard line. So Joy operates out of the shotgun, and he hands off. J.J. Granados, wearing his own number, is swallowed for a loss back at the 11-yard line. It's a loss of 2, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 20 for actually 25 for the Bulldogs. The ball at their own 10. They're going the wrong direction here.
Yeah, in the pregame interview with Coach Bradley, when I asked him about how would the Mayfield Trojans try to compensate for the size and strength of the Bulldogs, he talked about speed. He said it would be speed against size. So far, it's been successful for the Trojans.
Scoreboard says 2nd and 25. The stick says 3rd and 25. Good snap to Joy, back to pass. Fires to Dixon, double covered. And the pass incomplete. He was well covered. Holguin was wide open on the other side. And the Bulldogs send in the punt team. So it was a loss of down on the pass interference penalty. The scoreboard was incorrect. The stick down on the stadium surface was correct, and a dubious start for the Dogs. It's 4th down and 25.
Well, what was kind of interesting to me is they're throwing to Cameron Dixon on that. He was actually covered by 3 defenders, so it's not often you see that kind of defensive coverage.
Bulldogs, Joy's the punter, and he stands 5 yards deep in the Bulldog end zone. Good snap to Jonathan, and he boots it away, and the kick will make it to the Bulldog 48, where a fair catch called for, bobbled and taken by Elijah Stout. So the Trojans will start on the Bulldog 47-yard line. Wow.
So field position advantage to the Trojans here, as they're going to have a very good field position at the 47 of the Bulldogs.
Once again, the biggest question is, how's the smaller Mayfield offensive line going to handle this big, physical Cruces defensive line?
Kavika Johnson opens up at quarterback for Mayfield. Bayless goes in motion. Kavika wants to throw and overthrows his tight end Keeler. The pass nearly intercepted and incomplete at the 39-yard line by another Bulldog that's changed his jersey. And not on it. What is up with the Bulldogs changing their jerseys tonight? I mean, of all things to do to themselves, now we can't identify them. But anyway, the pass incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, the pass was overthrown and could have been caught. It wasn't going to be an easy interception, but it was an interception that could have been made had the defender come up with it.
2nd down, 10 to go for the Trojans. The ball is at the Bulldog 47-yard line. Bayless wide to the right, Twins to the left side. Johnson motions a man into the backfield, fakes a handoff to Kim and keeps 40, 35, all the way down to the 31-yard line of Las Cruces. That's a gain of 16 for Kavika on the Trojans' first running play of the game, and we got our first down as Mayfield set up at the Dog 31-yard line.
Yeah, fake of the jet sweep, and then I don't think that was an option for Kavika Johnson. I think that was a design play all the way, and he got the defense leaning to the offensive right and then went back to the left and had a big hole.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. The ball is at the Las Cruces high 31-yard line. Kavika Johnson at quarterback. Has him in the eye. Engelman, the deep man in the eye, takes the handoff, bouncing it out to the right. Gets to the corner, 25, puts down his head, and bowls over a defensive back. And he's knocked out of bounds at the Bulldog 22-yard line. That's good for 9 for Engelman on his first carry. He averages 7 yards a carry for the Trojans.
And so far, a very crisp execution for the Trojans. Normally, teams do not have success running laterally against the Bulldog defenses. They have such good pursuit, but that was well executed there by the Trojans.
2nd down and a yard to go for Mayfield. The ball is at the Bulldog 22-yard line. Offset eye. Engelman takes a pitch, heads left. There's some resistance there, and he makes some yardage after contact to get the first down at the 19. It's a pickup of 3 when they needed 1. They'll move the sticks. 1st and 10 Mayfield. They have the ball in the red zone at the 19-yard line of Las Cruces.
I imagine if there's a dream for an offensive coordinator at 2nd and 1, and because when you have that 2nd and 1 situation, you can usually actually go just about any place you want to in the playbook. They played it safe there and just moved the chains.
Thielen comes wide to the right. Bayless is in a slot to the right. I formation. Kavika Johnson on the option. To the right side will keep. He's got the 15. He's got the 10. Dropped at the 6-yard line. It's a gain of 13 on his 2nd carry. So he's picked up 16 and now 13. And it's 1st and goal for the Trojans. The ball is at the Las Cruces Bulldogs 6-yard line.
And Jeff, I like the way that Mayfield's attacking the outside. You know, they're not going to get a whole lot up the middle with this large Las Cruces defensive line. They're attacking the edge and using their speed, just like Coach Bradley said in the pregame show that they're going to do. So good job in this opening series.
Yeah, he was awfully confident in his remarks to us today. 1st and goal for the Trojans. The ball's at the Bulldog 6-yard line. Twins to the right on the short side of the field. They motion Bayless to the left side. Johnson keeps to the right side, shakes a tackler and goes down at the 4-yard line. David Ramirez made the stop. It's a gain of 2 for Kavika Johnson. 3 carries, 31 yards for him on the Uno stat update already.
Well, the early indication is the Trojans are liking their chances running wide right. They have not yet attempted to go wide left. They have gone over the left tackle position or between tackle and end, and Kavika Johnson got a nice gain for a 1st down, but so far the place where they're really favoring is outside right.
Ryan Hammond split wide to the left, the wide side of the field. Flores lines up as a wing to the left, backs her in the eye, pitch to Engelman, bouncing it outside to the left. The pursuit catches him and they yank him down at the 3-yard line. That's a gain of 1, and it brings up 3rd and goal at the Dog 3. Holguin made the stop for the Dogs.
And that was the first attempt to go wide left, but corresponding with what Brad mentioned a few minutes ago, they've not really, talking about the Trojans, have not tried to do too much between the tackles so far. They've used that as faking. Frankly, the big run they had a couple plays ago was because Kavika Johnson made such a good fake to the fullback up the middle.
3rd down and goal. The ball at the Bulldog 3-yard line. Thielen wide to the right, Bayless in a slot to the right, Twins to the left, slot left comes in motion, hand him the ball, going right, he's got the corner turned, he's in, touchdown. That's Elijah Perez, and the Trojans draw first blood. 8:02 to play in the first quarter. The Trojans go 47 yards for the TD.
And the word I've always used in associating good Trojan football is that of execution. And that was a well-executed drive. And once again, they got the yardage they wanted by going wide right.
So on 3rd and goal, the Trojans score. It's Jimenez to try to tack on the PAT out of the hold by Flores. The snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good. 8:02 to play in the opening quarter. On the Gus Gondola State Farm scoreboard, it's Mayfield 7, Las Cruces nothing. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this. Welcome back. Jeff Matthews along with Greg Berry and Brad Beasley. Impressive drive by the Trojans. Johnson had 2 long runs. Engelman had a long run. And then they punch it in on 3rd and goal, Greg Berry.
Yeah, and what the tendency on that first drive was to run wide right. Most of their big gains were that direction. And so we'll see what adjustments the Bulldogs defensive staff makes to try to neutralize that or take it away in future drives. And Bulldogs will have come out with a different plan offensively this drive as they move no place. The first drive, in fact, they moved backwards.
Jimenez has it teed up at the northern 40-yard line near the right hash. Calzada back deep with another Bulldog, and the kick is away. It goes to Calzada's side, hits at the 18, bounds to the 10. He grabs it there to the 15, to the 20, and knocked off his feet up at the 23 or so. So Las Cruces High, who started at their own 25 on their last drive and wound up at the 10, they will start off 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line here.
And if I'm Las Cruces High right here, what I'm going to do is go back to basics. You came out with 3 pass plays to start off the game, and go ahead and get back to running that ball, trying to establish the line of scrimmage with your big offensive line.
1st down and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at the Cruces 23-yard line. Joy ducks underneath center. Joy barks him out, pitches to Salas coming left, cuts back right. He's to the 2nd level. Bear crawls from the 29 up to the 31-yard line. And that's a gain of 8 for Salas on his first carry of the evening. And they did exactly what Brad suggested.
And in the past few weeks, the Bulldog line has just been blowing defenses off there, and it's not uncommon for the running back to be 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage before the first defender touches him. And so they had success there on that first running play. We'll see if it continues.
2nd down, 2 to go for the Dogs. The ball at their own 31-yard line. Pitch to Salas going right. Joy leads the way. He breaks loose 35-40. Thielen grabs him and knocks him down at the 44-yard line. Gain of 13 and a 1st down for the Dogs.
Austin Salas was our player of the week last week in the easy blowout win over Gadsden, and we named him, as I say, player of the game. And he's the speed side of the backfield duo. They use J.J. Granados, who is a deceptive runner, has good speed, but Salas is really a burner.
1st down and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at their own 44-yard line. Twin set to the left. Calzada, the slot man, goes in motion left to right. Joy ducked underneath center, pitches it, and Salas coming left, gaping room. 50, he's all the way to the 49 to the 48-yard line. They just blew open a lane for him. The Trojan defense got pushed back 6-7 yards. An impressive display by the Bulldog line, gain of 8.
And these last 2 plays, they've used motion to try to create numbers on the outside. Las Cruces has against the Mayfield defensive line, and both times they've gotten to the edge and created huge holes for their running backs.
J.J. Granados is checked back in, so he's more of the power side of the two running backs, although he has good quickness as well.
Rojas wide to the right. Olguin comes wide to the left. It's 2nd down and 2 for the Bulldogs. The ball at the Trojan 48-yard line. Pitch to the tailback Granados. He has a gaping lane. A flag flies, though. He's across the 40, across the 35, down to the 32-yard line. But the flag at the line of scrimmage, basically, about 2 yards upfield, they opened up another gaping hole, though. I mean, absolutely pushed them 6 yards off the ball and opened up a lane 10 feet wide. Maybe an illegal block was what was the key to it, as a hold being called against the Dogs here.
Well, and J.J. Granados, a bigger, stronger back at 6'2", listed at 6'2", 225, and he knows how to finish a run. I mean, it's hard to bring him down with just one guy, and if you don't get the right leverage on him, he'll continue to carry tacklers as he did there, although it's going to come back. It's still going to be second and about 10, indicating the holding was downfield a ways.
And it's unfortunate for Cruces because that hold really wasn't part of that big hole. The hole was back inside, and that hold actually occurred out near the sideline, so unfortunate break for Cruces there.
So now they have it 2nd and 10. The ball is at the Las Cruces 44-yard line to the shotgun and 4 wideouts. Joy looking left side. Joy has time, fires long, and the pass incomplete. Overthrown, intended for Michael Olguin, and good coverage by the Trojans. Joy now 0 for 2 passing on the Uno stat update. 5:46 to play in the first quarter, and on the Gus Gondra State Farm scoreboard, it's 7-0. Mike Bradley's ripped off his headset, chewing on Oscar Payan, the referee. Now J.E. Wells over, giving him an ear to chew on. 3rd and 10.
That pattern was a hitch and go pattern, but the defensive back did not bite on the hitch, and so he stayed in good position, kept the receiver Michael Olguin in front of him, and so the pass was not successful.
3rd down and 10 for the Bulldogs. The ball is at the Las Cruces 44-yard line. Calzada in motion, left slot to the right slot. Good snap to Joy, back to pass. Has protection, he's going deep again, and the pass incomplete down at the 22-yard line. A pass intended for Calzada, who is well covered again, and the Bulldogs 0 for 3 in the passing game, continually going deep. They really think they have something there, but have not been able to connect. They haven't even come close to connecting. Well, and the penalty is going to stop this drive. It's 4th and 10.
Yeah, not only have they not connected, they have not had an open receiver yet. The Trojans have really covered well defensively in their secondary.
So Joy to punt for the 2nd time. This time he's not doing it from the shadow of his own goalpost, though. And the Bulldogs rush a player in. They were 1 short. It's 4th and 10 for Cruces. The ball is at the Bulldog 44-yard line. High snap. Joy leaps to get it. Trojans are putting some heat on. Joy gets rid of it. It hits at the 20, bounces straight in the air, and is downed, as it was not a very good bounce for the Bulldogs. It was one of those opportunities for maybe to bounce another 5 or 10 yards, but it didn't do it. It bounced straight up in the air. So the Trojans will get it at the 20 instead of maybe the 15 or the 10.
Brad, after the first drive, and you're the Bulldog defensive coordinator, and you've been beaten to your own left outside, how do you adjust your defense?
I think Cruces really got to just attack the edge. I think they've really tried to shore up the middle, really try to take some chances and get some slants to the outside and just try to force Mayfield to come back and beat you inside.
Cerna takes over at quarterback on this series. 1st down and 10 for the Trojans. The ball at their own 20-yard line. Play action. Cerna's going up top, protected. He's going deep, and the pass overthrown at midfield. And it's 2nd down and 10 for Mayfield at their own 20-yard line. They were trying to get Hammond deep, and they couldn't. He was pretty well covered by the mystery man, who has changed his jersey tonight, and I don't have him on my roster. He's going 2 ways and returning kicks, so I ought to be able to figure out who he is eventually.
Trojans not a team that make a lot of yardage through the air during the course of the game.
On 2nd down and 10, option look. Cerna fakes a pitch, and that gets him some yardage. In fact, it'll get him a 1st down. As he's tackled at the 32-yard line, the Bulldogs bid on the fake pitch and went out to get the pitch man, and Cerna still had the ball and picks up a dozen.
Again, option wide right. A good fake up the middle to the fullback, and the Bulldog defenders need to tackle that guy because they can't let him go through and then find out, oh wait, he did have the ball. But once again, they've had success going outside to the right, this time the quarterback keeping it.
1st and 10 for Mayfield, the ball at their own 32-yard line. Trojans moving the ball well tonight. Pitch to Engelman going left. Engelman going left, flag flies. He steps out at the 36. And the Trojans will be penalized, presumably for the first time here, as the umpire, no, it was the linesman actually, threw the flag. He's thrown both flags if you're keeping track. 1 on each team. And
of course, when the Trojans were having their problems early in the year, one of the The main problem was excessive penalties. One game they had more than 20 penalties, another they had 19. And, of course, you can't win against good teams like that. But we'll see how many they have tonight. They came into this game averaging 9 penalties per game. We'll see if they can cut that in half or less tonight.
It's funny, doing a game about 10 years ago, I went over to Mayfield to interview Coach Bradley. Boy, the Bulldogs hold a lot. And, you just nod and you go over and see Coach Miller take his temperature. He goes, man, Mayfield holds a lot. Everybody thinks everybody else holds a lot.
Yeah.
So it's first down and 19 for the Trojans, and Cerna's going up top and has pressure, circles out of it. He'll carry and try to get what he can, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it's second down and about 19 to go for the Trojans at their own 23-yard line. Pretty good run by Cerna just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, one of the problems when you're in this long yardage situation and the play action fake doesn't mean too much, when the Bulldogs can just knuckle down and go right after the passer, it doesn't give the passer much time, and we've seen recent quarterbacks really struggle because the pass defense gets there so quickly.
Second down and 19 for the Trojans, the ball at their own 23-yard line. Good snap, Cerna rolling right to the wide side of the field. He'll fire, and the pass complete to Thielen. Thielen on a sideline route, makes the catch up at the 36-yard line, which is a gain of 13, but shy of a first down by 6.
Thielen, one of the leading receivers on the season for the Trojans, but the Trojans, their leading receiver on the season, Seth Bayless, only has 11 catches, and Thielen has, I think, about 9 or so, but the point is that they don't go to the air too much, so that you don't know necessarily where they're going to go because they don't go there very much.
Casey Peace wide to the left, Seth Bayless in a slot to the left side. Cordova's the ace back, Engelman a wing to the right. They send him in motion into the backfield, which pretty much leaves him in the eye. And on the first phase of the option, they hand it to Cordova, and he's swallowed inside. Brad's advised him not to even try that. They tried it there just to keep him honest and lost a yard. And that'll bring up fourth down for the Trojans. And about 7.
And that was really a bad read on Cerna's part. He, was just trying to give that ball basically up the middle, and there was nothing there. He really should have kept it, had a better chance getting to the outside. Of course, that's easy for me standing here on the sideline. But like I said, next time the guy just attack the edge.
Fourth down and 7. High snap. Good job by Jimenez to jump up and catch it and kicks it away. And the kick hits at the 34, takes a Bulldog bounce, and then rolls to the 39. And it'll be first and 10 for the Bulldogs in good field position with 3:13 to play in the opening quarter on the Gus Gondara State Farm scoreboard. 7-0 Mayfield.
Well, on that previous drive, the second drive for the Bulldogs, a holding penalty was what stalled that drive. Otherwise, the Bulldogs were having a lot of success moving the ball on the ground. They've had no success so far through the air. But I think if they establish their ground game, then it could open up some passing lanes for them. So far, it has not worked, but the penalty was what killed the last drive.
First and 10 for the Dogs at their own 40-yard line. Joy takes the snap, sprints right, has a blocker, and he's loose across the midfield stripe and dropped at the Trojan 46-yard line. It's a gain of 14 on Joy's first run of the ball game.
And I'm concurring with Brad here that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think if the Bulldogs just try to use the strength of their line and overpower them, that so far the Trojans have not shown that they had an answer to that.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. The nose of the ball just shy of the Mayfield 45-yard line on the right hash. Flanker to each side. Good snap to Joy. Catches it. Hands it off to Solis. Solis to the second level. Knocked down at the Trojan 40. That's a gain of 5 for Solis, who has 4 carries and 34 yards tonight on the Uno Stat update. 2:43 to play first quarter. The Trojans lead at 7-0.
And the early trend for the Bulldog offense ground game also indicates that they're liking the right side of their offensive line. So it may be each team in this game is wanting to run majority right.
Second down, 5 to go for the Dogs. The ball marked for play at the Mayfield 39.5. Joy going to the air. A little comeback route to Calzada. He has it for a first down at the Trojan 31, knocked down almost immediately. That's a gain of 9 on the first completion of the evening for Jonathan Joy, and they'll move the chains. It's at the Trojan 31-yard line, late first quarter. And it's 7-0 Mayfield.
Simple hitch pattern.
There's just a lot of popping going on right now. A lot of popping, a lot of talking by both teams. It's really getting nasty down here.
Getting juicy, huh? First down and 10 for the Dogs. 2 tight ends. Joy takes the snap, heads to the wide side of the field, bounces it outside. Collision at the 27-yard line. Pushes the pile across the 25. It's still being pushed all the way down to the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 8, 4 of them after contact. And it's 2nd down and 2 for the Dogs at the Trojan 23-yard line with 1:38 to play in the opening quarter.
Well, if you look back through the years, neither of these coaches, and they're both fabulous high school coaches, has ever been shy about permitting their quarterback to run with the football. And you'd think pretty soon somebody's going to twist them into a pretzel and they have to come out, but they pretty much last the season, and they do it very well.
2nd down, 2 to go for the Bulldogs. The ball is at the Trojan 23-yard line. They're going to the northern end zone. Good snap to Joy. Hands it off on the right read to Granados. Granados has a first down. Flag flies late in the play as he's all the way down to the 12-yard line. It was the back judge that slung the flag. He usually watches the tight end, so I'm guessing perhaps something the tight end did here if it's against the Bulldogs.
I think it's a face mask.
Yeah, that was the other option is if it's against Mayfield. It is a face mask against Mayfield. So that is a gain of 11.
J.J. Granados once again showing how he can finish a run. You better get there with a gang. You need gang tackling to bring him down. And he's just a junior.
He only has 21 touchdowns this year.
Averaging really 3 a game as they played 8 games, so almost 3 a game.
Backs are in the eye for the Bulldogs with a receiver wide to the right, 2 tight ends. Joy ducks underneath center. Pitches it to Granados going right. Gaping hole. He's at the 5. Collision at the 2. He's near the goal line. No signal. Marker comes down way after the play. And I think it's going to be after the play skirmishing against the Bulldogs. That was totally unnecessary. Personal foul against Cruces. That's a 15-yarder. So instead of 2nd and goal at the 1-inch line, it's going to be 2nd down and 16. And it's goal to go from the 16. That's a huge penalty. But they had a guy double teamed off to the left, and they just kept going, and Rosker Payan had enough.
I mean, the ball was basically coming to the goal line on the right hash for Las Cruces High, and that ball ended up about 2 inches from the goal line. And you're right, Jeff, the skirmish was actually on the other hash mark about 12 yards away from the play, so just an unnecessary penalty.
And Oscar's not somebody that's going to just throw a flag to throw a flag. I mean, he's pretty much a let-him-play guy, so it really got under his skin a little bit. 1st and goal for the Dogs at the Trojan 16-yard line. Out of the gun, they hand it off, sweep to the left 15, down to the 11-yard line. And it's 2nd down and goal after a gain of 5.
Well, I think kind of the significant thing there is that the Bulldogs did get first down again, because I was wondering if it was going to be after the play and, in fact, make it 2nd and 15. But they gave him first down again, so that will actually help the Bulldogs.
That's the end of the first quarter. Trojans 7, Bulldogs nothing on the Gus Gondura State Farm scoreboard. We'll return to the stadium after this message.
On behalf of Las Cruces Public Schools, Director of Athletics,
do what?
Montes would like to take this opportunity to thank all committee members of the 19th annual Sandra B. McBrown
I don't know.
Activities High School Golf Tournament. This dedicated group of people spent countless hours behind the scenes of planning, coordinating, and directing the largest community-driven effort to raise money for all activities in our high schools. This year's effort resulted in yet another milestone, the raising of $284,000. The committee is Kevin McGrath, Mike Gonzalez, Michael Yoke, Rick Nezer, Nancy Elkin, Cindy Clark.
We are so excited to be here. The game is off to a great start. The Trojans are ahead 7-0. Not that I'm surprised.
Don't worry, Dogs. We still have another 3 quarters to catch up. Emerson, don't you love this school spirit out here?
I definitely do. I know that Mayfield and Cruces both had pep assemblies and bonfires, but this is where it all comes to a climax, right here at Aggie Memorial Stadium.
I couldn't agree more. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Danny Gamboa at Casa de Autos, and I definitely know where I need to get a car.
We'd also like to thank Dion's Pizza and Corner Deli for providing our meal today. Thank you guys so much for your support of LCPS TV.
Emerson, it's gotten a lot chillier, and I think it's time for us to take it back out to the field for the second quarter.
Not getting free. The defender's not able to shake the block and get off it. And that was something Coach Bradley talked about in the pregame was, okay, they can block you, but you can't stay blocked. And that has not happened yet so far for the Trojans.
3rd down and goal for the Dogs. The ball is at the Trojan 4-yard line. They line up in a jumbo set, pitch it to J.J. Granados going left. He wants to bounce it outside, gives some ground. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped at the 9-yard line. That's a loss of 5 yards. And it's going to bring up 4th and goal at the 9. Keep in mind they would have had 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line, inside the 1-yard line without that penalty.
On that time, Las Cruces High came out in their jumbo set with the 2 offensive linemen, motioned a guy basically to the left side for Las Cruces High. So Mayfield knew that ball was coming. Everybody in the stadium knew that ball was coming to that side. So good adjustment by Mayfield.
Bulldogs will line up for a 25-yard field goal from Garcia out of the hole to Joy. Good snap. Hold is good. Boot is away. The kick is up. And it's through the narrow uprights here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. They're more narrow than the ones at the Field of Dreams because they're NCAA regulation rather than high school regulation. So the Dogs are on the board. They put the points on the Trojan side. They will fix that. It's 7-3. Mayfield, 10:31 to play in the second quarter. Trojan and Bulldog football continues after this.
Tonight's post-game meal. Thank you for supporting Mayfield football. Cruces High School football would like to thank the senior parents for providing tonight's post-game meal.
That penalty cost him 7 points.
That's 2 penalties that have
Big
cost
time.
him.
Garcia to kick off the Bulldogs. Isaiah Carrera on the return. Johnson as quarterback for the Trojans. Johnson on the keeper. Need a big 2nd down and 2. First and 10 Trojans.
for the Trojans. The ball marked for play at the Dog 46-yard line. Good snap to Kavika Johnson. Fakes a handoff to Bayless and then is hammered as he carries at left tackle and dropped at the 45-yard line. Making the stop inside, among others, for Las Cruces High. Angel Martinez. Well, he's a sophomore. I don't think that's him.
You know, the big thing that's a big difference here, Jeff, too, is that at the Field of Dreams, the field's flat. Here at Aggie Memorial, there's actually about a 1.5 foot drop from the sideline to the middle of the field with the crown. So the passing game's a little bit of an adjustment for these guys.
2nd down and 9. And a handoff inside, and they plunge it to the 44. The Bulldogs come out of there with a football. Is it their ball? Yes, says Oscar Payan. First turnover, and the ball goes to the Bulldogs as Cordova inside lost the ball. Cordova arguing with the officials, or at least saying, hey, I didn't fumble that. I'm not sure what happened, Brad. You get a good look at it? I know the Bulldogs have the ball. That's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah, there was a problem at the mesh point of the option, which is the same problem that Mayfield had in the first quarter on that 3rd and 5 play. Just a problem at the mesh point with the fullback on that option. I don't think that Johnson actually wanted to give the ball on that dive, but the fullback took it away. Ball was on his hip, and when he went down, that ball popped out. So big play for Las Cruces High.
1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at their own 45-yard line. Twins to each side. Good snap. Joy back to pass. Fires. Man's open. Holguin has it at the 35. Goes down at the 30-yard line. Casey Peace on coverage for Mayfield. And it's a 1st down for the Dogs. A gain of 24.
Well, one of the benefits of a successful ground game, and although they've not scored yet on the ground, it's not because they haven't been able to move the ball. The Bulldogs have really been moving the ball well on the ground, but one of the benefits is they start moving the safeties in the corner up, and now it makes the passing game a little bit easier for the Bulldogs.
1st down and 10, the ball at the Trojan 29-yard line. Joy fakes a handoff, keeps coming right, has some running room, picks up a block from Cameron Dixon. That gets him about 10 extra yards and is out of bounds at the Trojan 13. It's a gain of 16. 3 carries, listen to this, 3 carries, 38 yards for Joy on the Unostat update. 1st down and 10.
Well, revisiting Coach Michael Bradley's comment in the pregame show is you may get blocked, but you can't stay blocked. And so far, the Trojans are having trouble because they're staying blocked on defense.
1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at the Trojan 13. Good snap to Joy. Joy heads left. Joy picks up a block, stops, and then goes down at the 10-yard line. He was trying to stop and change direction. Franzoy wouldn't let him. It's a gain of 3. That's the best job the Trojans have done against Jonathan Joy tonight.
And Joe Franzoy is the leading tackler as a middle linebacker for the Trojans. Leads them by far. Led them as a sophomore and is leading them again as a junior in tackling.
7:43 to play in the half. Mayfield 7, Las Cruces 3 on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. 2nd down, 7 to go. The ball's at the Trojan 10-yard line on the left hash. White side of the field to the right. Joy back to pass, looking over the middle. Now fires and dumps it off. It's caught. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
To the tight end, running a crossing pattern. Ran wide receivers deep into the end zone.
Fails, it's wide to the left, so that makes it Las Cruces 9, Mayfield 7. 7:25 to play in the half on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
Well, the difference in that drive for the Bulldogs was no penalties, no mistakes. So the Trojans have had a big mistake, the turnover on the fumble, which led to a touchdown, and the Bulldogs have had 2 mistakes, 2 penalties that cost them drives. And so far it's the team that is making fewer mistakes that's in the position to move ahead in this game.
1st and 10 for the Trojans, the ball at their own 20-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Mayfield has Cerna at quarterback, sends Bayless in motion. Fake a handoff to Bayless. Cerna coming left, gets a block, gets the edge, and then spun down at the 25-yard line. As he's brought down out there by David Ramirez. That is a gain of about 5.
Great job by Ramirez on that play. He got blocked initially, shedded the tackle, got to the outside, and Engelman tried to block him again, and he just kept going to the outside and made a fantastic play. So great job defensively there by the Bulldog defender.
2nd down, 5 to go for Mayfield at their own 25-yard line. Holguin's helmet is off. He's trying to repair his equipment, so they've stopped the game. Gives us a chance to catch up if you're just tuning in. Mayfield jumped on top 7-0 after a short 47-yard march. Set them up in good field position, and they moved the ball well, mainly on the ground, scoring 4 minutes into the game to take a 7-0 lead. Bulldogs cut it to 7-3 a couple possessions later. Cerna head and shoulder fakes going deep. The pass well overthrown and incomplete. He ended up on his wallet as he got clobbered as he let go of it, and the pass incomplete. It's 3rd down and 5. So after the Bulldogs cut it to 4, Mayfield fumbled on their next possession, and then the Bulldogs went 55 yards, scoring on a TD pass from Joy to Denmark. And now it's 3rd and 5 for Mayfield at their own 25 as they're trying to answer the Bulldog points to have now taken the lead. Las Cruces has the lead on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard, 9-7. 3rd and 5 at the Trojan 25. Cerna fields a waist-high snap, rolls left, wants to throw it against his body, but he can't get his feet set. So he'll tuck it and run and get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. It's 4th and 5 for Mayfield. He just never could get set to throw that ball across his body.
A lot of pressure up the middle by the middle linebacker for Las Cruces High. Basically came on a what they call a double dog blitz. Both linebackers were blitzing right up the middle on that one, and he just came free and forced Cerna from the outside. He had no chance in that.
Trojans shuttle in the punt team. Bulldogs were going to shuttle 4 in and take 4 out. Instead, they're just going to stick with their defense and let them operate as the punt return team. They were going to try to get some quicker cats in there that maybe could get back and block, and now there's a whistle and Mayfield will take a timeout. So the Bulldogs will be able to make that substitution. 6:36 to play in the half. Timeout on the field. It's the Dogs 9, the Trojans 7. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
50/50 tickets. Help support Trojan football. Half of ticket proceeds go to lucky ticket holder. We will be announced at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Also show support to the spirit for your school by purchasing Trojan wear and memorabilia ticket. Stand is open through halftime. Bulldog fans, also don't forget to buy your 50/50 tickets. We will be announced at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Down at the 19. Yard line. First and 10, Bulldogs. First and 10, Trojans. Bulldogs at the 15. Trojans at the 15.
What a run by Engelman after his interception set him up on this drive.
And the Bulldogs need to get their outside defense shored up, as the Trojans have had good success here in the first half by running wide, particularly wide right, a little bit to the left, but primarily running wide right. So the Bulldogs are going to need to make adjustment if they're going to take that away.
And that's a play from the NFL to be reviewed, because Engelman was actually going out of bounds, but he had held the ball out over the end zone, so the referee wasn't in position for that play. But Mayfield 1st and 10 on the 1st and goal on the 1.
That's why I called it a touchdown. I thought he was in.
It appeared to me that he was in also.
1st and goal, the ball at the Bulldog 1. Handoff to Engelman. He's in this time. Touchdown, Mayfield. Straight over center. The Trojans have the lead back. 4 minutes and 1 second to play in the half. And the Trojans now lead at 13-9 on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. So they turn the interception into points.
Well, twice tonight the Trojans have had short fields to work with, and they've turned it into 2 touchdowns. And each team has 1 turnover now. I said going into the game, I thought the Trojans probably had to be +2 in turnovers to win this game. We'll see how it works out.
PAT attempt by Jimenez, and the boot is away, and the kick is no good. So both kickers have missed an extra point tonight. Score remains Mayfield 13, Las Cruces 9 on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. 4:01 to play in the half. Trojan and Bulldog football continues after this. 13th rushing TD of the season. And it's now Mayfield in the lead by 4. About the last 5 games have been classics, and it looks like we're going to have another good one tonight. About 5 weeks ago, I don't know if anybody thought the Trojans could play with the Dogs. Jimenez, end over end kick, caught at the 1 by Calzada to the 5. Hernandez leads him. Calzada at the 10 to the 15 to the 20 and thrown down at the 24. So Las Cruces has a turnover. They cost themselves 4 points with a personal foul penalty where they would have had 2nd and goal inside the 1. Instead, they had 1st and goal from the 16 and couldn't punch it in there. And then that turnover led to the Trojans taking the lead. So sometimes you look in the mirror and you say our worst enemy is us.
Yeah, that's for sure. And frankly, the Trojans have been winning the field position battle here in the first half.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. The ball marked at the Las Cruces 24-yard line. Jonathan Joy ducks underneath center and he pitches it. And then it's tossed to Calzada on a reverse. Calzada going left. The Trojans have him hemmed in pretty well and they throw him down at the 30. It's a gain of 6.
Well, frankly, that could have been a lot worse for the Trojans because when they made the on the reverse, made the toss, Calzada, who's probably the fastest guy on the Bulldog team, looked like he was going to have a lot of room to run, but the Trojans counted pretty well and held it to 6.
Well, it reminds me of what Mike Bradley said today on our pregame show when he was asked, well, how do you deal with their size? He goes, we're quicker. And I'd rather be quicker than bigger. Fake handoff from Joy. He'll keep 30, 35, 1st down. They'll stop the clock after a gain of about 4 for Joy. 5 carries, 45 yards for Jonathan Joy. And they will, in fact, move the sticks. Let's pause for station identification. Trojans 13, Dogs 9. You're listening to Bulldog and Trojan football. Jeff Matthews, Greg Berry, Brad Beasley with you at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Good crowd, as you would suspect. It's 1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at their own 35-yard line. Joy out of the gun, fields a knee-high snap, zips it off to a wide-open receiver who has it. Falling down, complete up at the 48-yard line for a gain of 13 to whole game.
I will say that the Trojan secondary so far in this game has done a very good job of not letting any receiver get behind them. And when you do that and you're backpedaling and then you see the ball, you can break on it coming forward. You let somebody get behind and now you're in big trouble.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. The ball at their own 48-yard line with 2:40 to play in the half. And it's 13-9 Trojans. Joy looking downfield, lobs it up deep. Nice effort by the receiver. Makes it, incomplete, they say at the very end. Down at the 29-yard line. And protesting is Holguin, says he caught it, but the side judge, the head linesman, said no, he didn't. He's getting an earful now from the Bulldogs sideline, but it's officially incomplete, 2nd and 10.
But Brad, I'm a little bit surprised that the Bulldogs seem determined to beat the Trojans with their passing game, as they've had such good success on the ground.
I'm surprised they're trying to beat them on long fly patterns. They're running man-to-man. You should try to beat them on post patterns and little quick hitches. So watch for that adjustment in the 2nd half.
2nd down and 10. Pitch to Granados. Granados going left. Granados thrown out of bounds. That'll stop the clock as he gets to the 48 of Mayfield. That's a gain of 4. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
Bulldogs have 3 timeouts remaining. The Trojans have 2. And at this point, with the Bulldogs having the football, they're the ones that would be considering calling a timeout, and unless they get in a 4th down situation. Now, if the Bulldogs don't convert this 3rd down, 3rd and long situation, then the Trojans, if it's a ground game, may choose to use one of their timeouts.
3rd down for the Dogs. And 6 to go. The ball at the Trojan 48. Joy operates out of the gun. Play action. A has all day. Fires into traffic. Incomplete. Calzada well covered. Hernandez was open about 6 yards further downfield and further towards the sideline, but Joy tried to zip it into Calzada. And the pass broken up, and it's 4th down and 6 at the Trojan 48. Decision time for Jim Miller.
I don't think there's so much chance that they won't punt it here. It was Elijah Pettis on the defensive play. Did a nice job. He was behind the receiver, and then as the pass was in the air, he got around, just broke around him, got a hand in, and knocked the pass down. Very nice play by a defensive back.
They're going to go for it here near midfield with still 2:20 to play in the half.
Surprise to me.
4th and 6 for the Dogs at the Trojan 48. They pitch the ball. Granados is going to throw it. Man's wide open. Caught at the 35-yard line. That's Dixon at the 30 and dropped at the 27-yard line. Hank Stram, it's some trickeration right there. First down, Bulldogs.
Well, does this remind you of Mark Hartshorn's question to Jim Miller earlier today about do you have any trick plays in your playbook tonight? And there it was. So that's why Coach Miller went for it on 4th and long, because he knew he had that in his bag.
How about dialing that up on a 4th down play, a little halfback throwback pass? That's a gutsy call.
Well, yeah, they would have got the ball at midfield with 2:20 to play. First down and 10 at the Trojan 27-yard line. Joy keeps. Joy swallowed by Devontae Weeks after a 2-yard gain. And it's 2nd down and 8. The ball at the Trojan 25 with 1:47 to play in the half. The Trojans lead it by 4.
And as I said a moment ago, 3 timeouts for the Bulldogs, so they've got all the time that they need here with a little over a minute and a half to go. They're not running a 2-minute offense, though. They are huddling.
It's nice to see a huddle every now and
yes,
then.
and it gives broadcasters a break.
2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. The ball at the Trojan 24. We've got a whistle, and a timeout's been taken by Mayfield. Trojans lead it 13-9 on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. 1:23 to play until halftime. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
By the way, I should get props for the mentioning the guy so you can get him on his roster, by the way.
Yeah.
That was a good segue.
It was, and I knew exactly what you were doing. I'm sitting there going, 15 never leaves the field, and I don't have them. Apparently, they're changing numbers out of tributes to people, but
it's their throwback jerseys, they said, so they don't always have the same numbers.
I told Art, I said, isn't the purpose of numbers so you can identify people? I said, it's costing them being identified. I texted him that. Welcome back, Jeff Matthews, along with Greg Berry and Brad Beasley. It's a good one, 13-9. The Trojans lead the Dogs with 1:23 to play until halftime. The ball at the Trojan 24, first down yardage at the 17.5-yard line. Trojans backs to the wall here, trying to keep the lead, as the Trojan defense has played pretty well here in the first half. Twins to the right for the Jonathan Joy fields a knee-high snap. Pressure's coming, gets rid of it, and the pass is caught. He somehow threaded it in there past Thielen, who I thought had a chance at an interception, and Denmark caught it down at the 16-yard line. That is a gain of 8.
And that was the same play they threw for the touchdown, sending wide receivers deep to clear the secondary, and then the tight end crossing underneath the defense.
So
right to left.
Another first down. Stop the clock while they move the chains. It's 1st and 10. The ball at the Trojan 16-yard line now. Ball's on the left hash. Hernandez and Calzada split wide to the right. And here's a counter tray. Granado's going left, and the Trojans defend it well. It's a gain of about 4. And the Dogs will spend a timeout as we've gone under a minute. 55 seconds to play until halftime. Trojans 13, Bulldogs 9 on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this. out of the gun, fakes the handoff to Granados, fires in the pass, incomplete, intended for Hernandez at the goal line, nowhere close to being complete. Jim Miller wanted interference, rips off his headset, gesturing at the official on his sideline. No flag forthcoming, and it's now third down.
Well, Devontae Weeks for the Trojans blew that play up because he upset the timing. He got penetration as part of the defensive rush, and Jonathan Joy had to release the ball a split second before he wanted to.
Third down, 6 to go. The ball at the Trojan 12-yard line. Calzada wide to the right. Hernandez is split wide to the left. Granados in the backfield with Joy in the shotgun. And now Cruces is confused and takes a timeout. Mark Lopez, the offensive coordinator, hot at his own team here as he rips off the headset and rips into him. They weren't lined up properly. They were confused.
Well, this is definitely going to be a close game. Cruces is about to score, Emerson. What do you think on this?
I don't know. I really do think that it's going to come down to the last quarter. The score is 13-9 with Cruces, with Mayfield just barely in the lead. So what do you think about the weather tonight? It's a beautiful night, right, Courtney?
The weather is a lot more beautiful than last year, I have to say, Emerson. But it's still a lot chilly. It's still really, really chilly out here. I have a jacket on and a scarf. What do you think about it?
I definitely think that it is, but obviously the fans are still coming out, even though it is just a little bit chilly. This is great weather for some football. Let's send it out to the field to see what happens in the rest of this half.
In the end zone, everybody well covered. He throws it to Calzada, who makes back of the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Everybody looks pretty well covered. He trusted Calzada, and Calzada somehow made the play.
Well, that was a rollout right with a flood pattern, meaning all the receivers were running to that side of the field. And so they were all rolling left to right across the field as the Bulldogs looked at it. And then Calzada, to free himself, stopped and went back to his left as Joy looked down the field, and that's what created some space for him.
So the Bulldogs have the lead. Trojans really defensed that well for almost the entire play. Joy was running out of real estate, chucked it to the back of the end zone, and Calzada made the catch 9 yards deep in the end zone. The PAT by Garcia is up and through. 45 seconds to play in the half. And on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard, it's Las Cruces 16, Mayfield 13, as we seesaw back and forth here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this. Las Cruces High has the lead.
And that makes a particularly entertaining game when it's a seesaw game, and that's what it's been so far.
Bulldogs went a long ways. 76 yards on that drive. And really didn't have a sense of urgency. Good kick, rolls down to the 2, picked up there. To the 5, coming left to the 10. Across the 15, opens up 20, 25, out to the 31. And Mayfield got it out of there, and it almost looked like it was going to break for a second.
That just goes to show you what the speed is of both these teams. There was a huge hole, and I thought the same thing, Jeff. I thought that thing was going to break big, but then you saw the speed of Las Cruces High just come up and make that stop. So a lot of speed on this field on both sides.
Mayfield has it at their own 32 with 37 seconds to play in the half. Our Burger Time Golf Tournament halftime show coming your way at the half. And we'll give you the stats from Uno's. Recap the scoring. First down and 10, the ball at the 32. A little trickeration from the Trojans. Cerna fires it out, and the pass tipped and incomplete. Took a little too long to develop, and the Bulldog penetration by the defensive line, I think Venegas knocked it in.
Yeah, that was a reverse with a toss, actually double reverse with a toss back to the quarterback. So it was actually the quarterback making the pass, but the ball did not come out of his hand well. I don't think he had a good grip on it.
Hard to grip a ball when you got a big guy bearing down on you like that, too.
And the receiver was wide open.
290 pounds. Second down and 10 for the Trojans at their own 32-yard line. Cerna starts right, rolls left, directs traffic. Now he's hemmed in and dropped at the 31. Good tackle out on the edge as Salas made the stop for the Bulldogs. Very good open field tackle for a loss of a yard. And it brings up third down and 11 with 13 seconds to play in the half. Timeout Mayfield. Timeout on the gridiron here. We've only got 13 seconds to play in the half. It's the Dogs 16, the Trojans 13. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this. At their own 31-yard line. Cerna out of the gun, back to pass. Tisby gives him pressure straight up the gut. He gets away from Taylor. Then he gets away from a second defender. Third defender brings him down, though, at the 28-yard line, making the stop for Las Cruces High, Paul Aguirre. And time has expired, as that'll be a sack for the Bulldogs, and the first sack of the first half goes to Las Cruces High. So it's been a seesaw affair. There's a conversation between the officials, and Oscar Payan has asked them to come back.
Yeah, Miller was calling for timeout, and I was watching the clock as he was doing it. There was about 2.5 seconds left when he was calling timeout, so there should be a fourth down play coming up.
Loss of 3 on the play, and it's a sack for the Bulldogs. So they're going to grant Miller the timeout and put some time on the clock.
Which tells you what's going through his mind is they're going to go for try to block the punt.
Burger Time Golf Tournament halftime show getting ready to come your way. We appreciate them sponsoring the halftime show, and we've highlighted some of the legacy sponsors throughout the year. Lucis Barrow and Karen Bailey have been joined us. Had the Sun News publisher on, and perhaps we'll be able to get one of them on here at the half. And we've been getting a lot of good feedback on our great moment in Bulldog, Trojan, and Knight history on the highlight plays we've been running. And
You got a good one keyed up for us at halftime, Jeff?
Yeah, I do. I think you're going to like it, Brad, but I think it's going to make you mad at me again.
Yeah, it looks like the Trojans may decide to just run the last 3 seconds off as opposed to punt it.
Fourth down and 3. Cerna hands it off to Engelman. Engelman wants to get the half expired and picks up about 5 yards in the process, and it's the half. Engelman winds up the half with 6 carries, 31 yards, and a TD on the Uno stat update. So we've seesawed back and forth at intermission. It is Las Cruces 16, Mayfield 13 on the Ben Trujillo State Farm scoreboard. Our Burger Time Golf Tournament halftime show comes your way next. So did we.
This evening's halftime show is presented by the Mayfield High School Marching Band as they pay tribute to the Trojan football team. The show will feature the percussion section as well as the bomb. The band would like to thank the following sponsors for their monetary support of the competitive marching season. Nomination Edward Jones, Raw A. Carrillo, Career Law Firm, Dan and Vicky Schneider, Comet 1 Hour Cleaners and Laundry, Mark Stevens, Porter Deli, Dr. Leona Andrew and Dr. Lori Kay, the Livingston Lemonade Center, Don Staraska from Helping Hands Event Planning. Don Beasley from Beasley Mitchell and Company. Woodman of the World, Las Cruces Lodge, 233. Without their financial support this season, it would not be possible. Thank you.
We have student body president James Franco from Las Cruces High School and Casey Ramos, senior class president from Mayfield High School, here to tell us about how they pumped up their school for the rival game tonight.
All right, well, Cruces is just always pumped, but we just unleashed it tonight. So there's no question about it. We are always ready to go. Tonight's the night we prove it.
You know what? We're always up for a challenge. You know, we come out here as the underdogs, but you know what? We're going to step it up this year. We had our first bonfire ever, and we're just going to beat those Bulldogs. They're nothing to us. We're going to just unleash them, and we're going to just rock it tonight. And no doubt, Mayfield's going to win.
So what has gone into your student sections this year? Both of your student sections do some really cool things. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You know what? We just brought creativity. We picked out random kids. They just have awesome ideas. You know, we have just people from all sorts of clubs. We have everyone involved, and we're just bringing it tonight.
All right, well, I mean, with us, I mean, we've got 4 chants. We do a lot. Of course, is the I Believe. Everyone knows that it's legendary. I Believe. We got our roller coaster. We got Happy, and you know what? We got everything. We got all the cards on the table tonight. So we're just ready to rock.
And James and Casey, who do you think's going to win tonight's game? It's pretty close, but we can't tell.
Close. Hey, pretty close. But this is just for spectators. We got it. Cruces has it in the bag. No question about it.
I mean, come on. You know it's all about the Trojans. We're the best in the state. We're the best in the nation. We're going to rock it tonight.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and good luck to both of your teams. Now let's send it out to the field.
Cruces!
Let's go, Trojans!
Let's send it out to the field for the Mayfield halftime performance.
Get a first.
Big round of applause for the Mayfield High School marching
Big moment in Trojan history for you. It features Brad Beasley. Just a little teaser. We'll be back after this timeout. I'm unplugging you now, Brad, so I can play back that out of my phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow will be a fundraiser for Kian and Marcia Zuma at the Lincoln High School Student Walk from 2 to 4 p.m. It'll be a car wash for $5, and all money goes to the Parra family.
Back for a drop.
Returned to one of my calls.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the field. 19 years ago, Sandra and Kevin McGrath had a dream for Las Cruces. This dream became an incredible reality through the commitment and contributions of the Las Cruces business community and the numerous participants who helped support the annual golf tournament. This year's effort surpassed last year's total and netted $284,000 for our high school. At this time, Kevin McGrath, Superintendent Stan Rounds, and Athletic Director Ernest Viramontes would like to please help welcome and thank this year's sponsor for the 19th annual Sandra B. McGrath All Activities High School Golf Tournament. Their dedication to our youth in this community is second to none. Flight sponsors, Gilbert & Sons Roofing and Plastering, Porter Fabian Company, Salopec, 6 Youth Farm, Sonic Drive-In, Burger Gun, Legacy Sponsor, American Linen, Coca-Cola, Farmers Insurance Group, Las Cruces Sun News, Memorial Medical Center, Price's Creamery, Radio of Las Cruces, Ciscaro Buick Pontiac GMC, U.S. Bank. Major sponsors, Bravo Mike Radio, Cruces Trophy Awards, La Posta de Mesilla, Las Cruces Bulletin, Massage Envy, PTS Office Systems. Co-sponsors, Admiral Beverage, Business Environment, High Desert Vet Roads, Hotel Encanto, Lorenzo's Italian Restaurant, Mike Apodaca State Farm, New Mexican Bowl, Outback Steakhouse, Pickett Law Firm, Southwest Sport and Spine, Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino, Volvo Rents, Wells Fargo Bank, all-in-one sponsors, ABC Printing Company, Able Sign Company, Allen Feeders, Applebee's, Atlas Travel, Beasley Mitchell and Company, CPA, Boudreaux's Jewelers and Gallery, Porter Deli, Del Valle Physical Therapy, Dion. El Paso Electric, Electrical Contracting Services, Exit Realty, F&A Dealer, First Light Credit Union, Eichert's Furniture, Johnstone Supply, Cole, LEP Building Supply, Las Cruces Moose Lodge 2081, Malulu's Flooring Company, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Premier Distributor, Second Spice, Spence Asset Management, Sports Accessories, Spring Hill Suites, Steinborn Associates Real Estate, Tom Salopek Farms, Village Inn, Wooten Construction Company. A big round of applause for all the sponsors and all the participants in this year's All Activities Golf Tournament. scoring update at the half. Alamogordo 26, Oñate 0.
Halftime show as the Bulldogs come back onto the stadium floor for the second half. The Bulldogs 16, the Trojans 13. This play goes back to 2008. Las Cruces playing El Dorado for a state championship up in the Duke City. Bulldogs had fallen behind El Dorado. This was a very good game. Brad and I did this game together up in Albuquerque, and it was an outstanding, one of the better state championship games I've done. Bulldogs pulled it out. One of the reasons, this play right here.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Eagle, 37-yard line. High formation. Gatto call. Pitches to Hall coming right now. He's looking to throw. He's teasing it long. The pass is caught by Lilly at the 5. He's in. Touchdown Bulldogs. James Hall with a 37-yard TD pass to Jacob Lilly. The coverage wasn't that bad, but he got it in there to him.
No, the El Dorado Eagle was turned around and playing the defender, and the ball was
well on one.
So we're still here live at Aggie Memorial Stadium. This game is going great, and it's only just halftime. This is all a student-run broadcast, so let us know how we're doing. We love a little bit of constructive criticism, or just let us know where you're watching from and who you're going for. Shoot us an email at lcpstv@k12.nm.us. We can't wait to hear from you.
We have less than a minute before the third quarter starts up. Cruces 16, Mayfield 13. So let's take it back to the field and see how close this game gets.
Pinning their ears back like they have been and rushing upfield. So those are the adjustments I'd like to see made by both sides.
Cruces will be kicking the ball to Mayfield to start this second half. So the Trojans are going to get it first.
Brad, you're down in the field. You got a better view than us. Give me your estimate on the crowd.
Well, I've talked to a bunch of people around here, and I mean it's probably between 17 and 18,000 right now is what they're telling us. It's about 75% full in a lot of places.
Here's Alan Garcia's kick, and the kick comes near side through the hands of the safety and into the end zone and out of the end zone. It's a touchback. Mayfield will get it out at the 20-yard line. No time off the clock. Well, 2 seconds ticked off. And it'll be Mayfield's ball down 3, 16-13. All 16 points by the Bulldogs came in the second quarter.
And the two scoring plays that the Trojans had in the first half were both on short fields. Now they've got a long field to negotiate, so we'll see if they're able to do the 80-yard variety.
Johnson starts the second half at quarterback for Mayfield. Kavika sends twins to the right, sends Pettis in motion into the backfield. A little right read option, and Kavika will keep and go at left tackle, left end, and picks up about 2 out to the 22-yard line. He has 41 yards, I should say, on 5 carries on the Uno stat update, and it is now second down and 8.
Well, you would think at some point tonight the Trojans will be able to break one up the middle, but I think that's only going to go if they continue to establish the wide game as something that Bulldogs have to take away, and then sometime they might be able to sneak a fullback through there, but it's not going to go consistently.
Second down and 8, and Kavika Johnson fakes to Bayless and keeps straight ahead and gets swallowed by the middle of that Bulldog defense after a yard gain to the 23. And that's going to bring up a third down and about 7 for the Trojans at their own 23-yard line. Early third quarter, 16-13. Las Cruces leads it on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard.
And this is going to be a huge, huge down, obviously, for Mayfield here, third down. You're coming out in the second half. The emotion's not as high. They're a little bit more relaxed as it was in the first half, and really got to settle in and really see what you have here. Big gut check here for Mayfield.
3rd and 7 for the Trojans at their own 23-yard line. And a good snap and a whistle and a legal procedure going to be called against Mayfield as Cerna went into quarterback that play. A legal procedure against Mayfield, their 3rd penalty for 20 yards tonight on the Uno stat update. 16-13 Dogs. The Bulldog student section having a blast right now behind their bench, as it's 3rd down and about 12 now for the Trojans at their own 18-yard line.
And Kavika Johnson did come out before this play. Looked like it was either his left shoulder or his left arm was bothering him, so we'll just see the extent of that injury.
Coming wide to the right for the Trojans is Casey Peace. They have a slot to the right side as well, and Cerna wants to go to the air and throws in the pass incomplete, nowhere near a receiver. And it's 4th down and 12 to go. Cerna now 1 for 6 passing for 13 yards for the Trojans. Johnson 1 for 1 for 12 yards, so they've completed 2 passes all evening. It's 4th and 12 for Mayfield. So this is the flip side of what happened to the Dogs early in the game. They went 3 and out and ended up giving the Trojans the ball near midfield. It looks like the flip side's going to happen here as Jimenez stands to punt at the 5. Fields a snap. Bulldogs come after it and just missed it. Jimenez kicks it high into the air straight up. It comes down the chimney and takes a Trojan roll and goes out of bounds at the Bulldog 47-yard line.
35-yard punt, and so the Bulldogs have pretty good field position here. They are on their own side of midfield, but they're not in their backed up to their own end zone like they were one time in the first half. So they have pretty good field position. So the Trojans are going to have to show, do they have an answer now to the offensive line? As we talked about with Coach Bradley, they tried to do it with speed, but the Trojans, nevertheless, the Bulldogs dominated the blocking in the first half.
1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at their own 47-yard line, and Denmark, the left tight end, fires off early, and that'll cost the Bulldogs 5 here. It'll be 1st and 15. They're listening in Nigeria. They're listening in Afghanistan. Say hi to Ryan Humble, who's in Bristol, Connecticut at ESPN. Worked with him at Aggie Vision, and he says they've got it on in Bristol. So our internet presence being felt tonight as people that have left the area stay connected for this one. Low snap to Joy, fields it shoe top high, throws deep, caught, and loose is Jalen Bishop ahead of the pack. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Dogs. They left Jalen Bishop open. A blitz was coming. Franzoy was about a step away from sacking Joy, but he got it off to Bishop. Touchdown.
And that was really the first time tonight that the Trojan defense has got lost on a pass play. They've done really a wonderful job of covering up to this point. In the first half, you rarely saw, with the exception of the trick play on 4th and 6, you haven't seen receivers running clean. But the Trojan defense was definitely fooled on that one.
So that was a 58-yard pass. Penalty marker flies before they can kick. Not sure what happened. Oh, they got too many men on the field, the Trojans do. So that was a 58-yard pass play. One play, 58-yard drive. Bulldogs by 9, trying to make it 10 here with the point extra touchdown.
Substitution on the Bulldogs.
Nobody covered Bishop, and they had the heat on. And Franzoy was close to putting a lick on Joy before he got rid of it, but he just got it off, and he threw a strike, and Bishop caught it. The kick is no good. 2 missed extra points tonight for the Dogs, 1 for the Trojans. Score remains, Dogs 22, Trojans 13 on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard. 10:04 to play in the 3rd quarter. Trojan and Bulldog football continues after this. What? In the game tonight, and he's got 129 yards passing and 3 touchdowns on the Uno stat update. 10:04 to play in the 3rd. 22-13 Cruces on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard. One official has a question for another, and so they will get together about the 25-yard line, and we're waiting on them to settle whatever the issue might be. Bulldog sideline had a question. So here we go. All the hooting and hollering you hear is by the Bulldog student body enjoying the 9-point lead right now. It's a party over on the eastern side. Meantime, the kick will sail into the end zone for a touchback. And Mayfield will start at the 20 on their second possession of the second half. 10:04 to play in the third quarter, so a long ways to go in this one.
And the Trojans need to show that they made some good adjustment in the halftime, some idea on how to block better, or some way to deceive or trick the Bulldogs. We'll see what they come up with here.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. The ball at their own 20-yard line. Good snap to Cerna. Fires it off left side. Diving attempt at a catch by Bayless on a poorly thrown pass, and it's incomplete. Mayfield's now 2 for 8 passing for 25 yards, no TDs, and no interceptions on the Uno stat update. Doesn't look like the passing game's there tonight, Brett.
It really isn't, and Cerna's not a pocket passer. He's a relatively short quarterback, and with a large defensive line like what Las Cruces High has, he can't just really see over. Once again, I'm surprised that offense coordinator Greg Hennington hasn't dialed up, like I said, a screen pass or something like that, just to get your rhythm back in if you're Cerna.
2nd down and 10. Back to pass is Cerna. Head and shoulder fake, firing long over the middle, and misses his receiver by 7 yards. And it's 3rd down and 10 for the Trojans at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, and Brad, where I would go on that is, and I echo what you're saying, Cerna's not very tall. He's 5'8". He's not a pocket passer, and I think he's be better on a waggle or a sprint out or bootleg, rollout, something like that, where he'll have a better vision of the field. Any way you hack it, he's not going to be a really accurate passer on the deep ball.
You're right, but the problem is when they do that, obviously it cuts the field in half in the field of vision, so Cruces, who's doing a good job defensively, can defend that pretty well too.
3rd down and 10. Cerna rolling right. Fires on the move, complete to Thielen. 1st down up at the 32. Well, yeah, they're going to give him the 31. I thought he would get the 32, but it's still a 1st down because he has 11 yards. And that's enough to move the chains, so the Trojans convert on 3rd down.
Brad, do you think the coaching staff for Mayfield is listening to our broadcast?
Well, I always think that they should, because I think we have fantastic recommendations, absolutely impartial recommendations here. But once again,
and just what we talked about worked there. Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Trojans at their own 31-yard line, as Engelman takes the handoff, tries left tackle, and plunges it for a yard to the 32. And it's 2nd down and 9. See if Greg dislocated his shoulder, patting himself on the back there. Nope. His arm's still in location.
And it does look like that Andrew Cerna may well be the quarterback for the rest of the game for the Trojans, as Kavika Johnson did go out with an injury, and we haven't seen him back on the field yet.
2nd down and 8 for the Trojans. The ball at their own 33-yard line. I formation. Bayless goes in motion. Rolling right is Cerna. Cerna on the move. Cerna upended and somersaulted down at the 35. He picked up 2.
And the crowd did the same thing I did, which is woo. As he did a somersault, he was hit low and was head over heels as he gained a couple yards on that play.
3rd and 6 for the Trojans. The ball at their own 35-yard line.
And of course, with an offense like the Trojans, winning first down is very important. They want 2nd and short, 3rd and short. They don't like 3rd and long.
3rd down and 6 for the Trojans. The ball at their own 35-yard line. Cerna rolling left. Cerna dumps it off. Man's open. Caught. 40 sticky to the 45. He's up to the midfield stripe.
And that's the kind of pass that Andrew Cerna can complete. That is, he's rolling out. That was a little bootleg action to the left. And it was, as what Brad talked about a couple minutes ago, about that short dump pass just over the linebacker and move the chains.
Exactly. Sometimes, you have to just get that rhythm back, and just making 1 or 2 completions can really change your confidence and really let you see it a lot better. Let all the plays slow down and all that stuff.
1st down and 10 for the Trojans. The ball in midfield. Cerna sends Bayless in motion, fakes a handoff and keeps going left. 45-40, 35-30, 25, caught and knocked down at about the 17. It's a gain of 33.
Well, that was the same play we saw run successfully in the first half of the Trojans early in the game, although it was Kavika Johnson running at that time. Fake to the fly sweep man or jet sweep man, running left to right across the field as the offense looked down. and then the quarterback moving back to his left through the hole, maybe between left tackle and left end. And it worked well in the first half, and it worked again here.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. The ball at the Bulldogs 16-yard line. Twins to the right. Offset I. And they hand it off. It's Stuckey. And Stuckey pounds it down to about the 13 for a gain of 3. So the Trojans threatening here as they're in the red zone.
And of course, this becomes 4-down territory. And as I said, with the Trojans' approach to offense against the Bulldogs, I think it's really important for the Trojans to win 1st down. And a 4-yard gain you would consider as a win.
Second down and 7 for the Bulldogs. The ball, or rather the Trojans, the ball at the Bulldog 13. Naked bootleg by Cerna to the 10. Flag flies. He's to the 1st down stick. Going to be close to a 1st down, but I have a feeling this one's coming back.
On the bootleg.
And that was really a very well-designed play, as on the bootleg, the Trojans had 2 blockers pulling right to left to get out in front on that, and but it's going to come back with a hold.
Holding against Mayfield. Moves them back.
Yeah, it's hard to get that edge sometimes, you know, and because Mayfield was in an X over to the strong side and they naked boot out to the other side. Basically, it was the tight end and the wide receiver having to make those blocks, and you know, sometimes getting that edge, you end up getting a hold there. So
penalty moves the Trojans back to the Bulldog 20. 6:53 to play in the 3rd quarter. Bulldogs 22, Trojans 13. 6:48 to play in the 3rd. Good snap back to Cerna, rolling right on 2nd and long, and he's sacked. 2nd sack for the Dogs. Denmark got in there and sacked him at the 25-yard line. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and very long for the Trojans. 1st down yardage is the 6th. They're at the 25.
And the Trojans do not want to be in that obvious passing situation, because the Bulldogs really just dial up the rush there. And they've given so many teams trouble with that rush. And you're not going to have a lot of time, and that's not the strength of the Trojan offense.
3rd down.
3rd down and about 18 for the Trojans. The ball at the Bulldog 25-yard line. Bayless in motion into the backfield. Play action. Johnson throwing into the end zone. Pass incomplete at the goal line, intended for Pettis. Well covered, and it's going to bring up 4th down and long for Mayfield at the 25-yard line.
And we would presume they're going to go with a field goal attempt here. The Trojans do have a kicker in Jimenez who does have a strong leg. And of course, this would put them, if they can connect here on this 43-yarder, would put them back within 1 touchdown and an extra point of the lead.
So Jimenez teeing it up at the 33. It's a 43-yard field goal attempt. Flores will hold. Jimenez will boot it. Snap is low. He gets it on the tee. Jimenez's kick on the way. Didn't make it. Short and wide to the right. I think the low snap might have hurt him a little bit on that. So there's 5:52 to play in the 3rd. 22-13. Cruces leads it on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard.
Well, the Bulldogs are in a position where they can really get a stranglehold in this game now, leading by 9 in offense. If they go down and put more points on the board, then they really put Mayfield in a big hole.
Jonathan Joy operates out of the shotgun. Twins to the right, 1 receiver to the left side. Handoff, gaping hole left side. Granados off to the races and knocked down up at the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 16 for Granados.
Granados is described by some people as a good power back, which he is, but he also has some good acceleration, and he can get wide as well as between the tackles.
Fundraiser, 4th place signed football helmet, Vincent Palongo. 4th place supply of milk for a year from Prices.
1st down, 10 to go for the Dogs at their own 36-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. And they hand off inside. Another big hole for Granados. Breaks a tackle at the 41 to the 45 to midfield to the Trojan 48-yard line before he stopped. 16-yard gain.
J.J. Granados just continues to get better week after week after week. He's had a good season, but he just keeps getting better. He's still just a junior, and so he's going to be a fabulous player as a senior.
1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at the Trojan 49-yard line. Back to the shotgun they go. Trojans with 5 men along the defensive line. Handoff to Granados, bounces it out to the right, and 2 flags fly at the line of scrimmage as they throw him right at Rudy Guetta, the senior, the 315-pound lineman who lost his helmet and looked like he was holding while he lost his helmet. So it looks like this one's coming back rather than being a 7 or 8 yard gain. Holding against Cruces.
Now this is not as devastating to Cruces offense as it is to Trojans to have this big penalty, as the Trojans are inclined to pick up smaller bits, but we've already seen several big plays, at least 3 big plays from the Bulldogs here in the second half, and so these penalties don't hurt the Bulldogs as much as they do the Trojans in terms of their ability to compensate for them.
Penalty moves them back to the 43-yard line of Las Cruces. 4:50 to play in the third, 22-13. Las Cruces high with the lead.
And guys, Mayfield just really looks right now spent defensively. They're just not as fast, not getting to the edge, and not really attacking like they were early.
So it's 1st down and about 19. Joy wants to go up top, steps up, now he's going to run. 45, he's to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, 1st down at the Trojan 36-yard line. Good decision there, Greg. Gain of 21.
Yeah, the blocking on the pocket spread the defense, and they had no linebackers there ready to pick him up or spying the quarterback. And looks like Marcus Engelman was down on the field after the play.
Cramps, I think.
Yeah, I think that looks like what it was, because he was running back to the defensive side of the football and just kind of collapsed on the field. The play was over.
Yeah, he had actually come out of the game earlier in the Mayfield offensive series. Was being stressed on the sideline for some cramps. So, you know, it's a pretty dry night out. You know, obviously you're exerting a lot more energy in this rivalry type situation.
I think my throat's cramping up as we speak. So the teams come to the sideline while they stretch out Engelman's cramps.
And this is a bit and hopefully Marcus Engelman will be able to come back, because he's an important segment or ingredient in both the offense and the defense. He's run the ball well here tonight, and he's made the biggest defensive play for the Trojans in this game. So it will hurt the Trojans if he's not able to return. We hope he will be able to.
So Engelman comes out. They'll work on his cramps. It seems like once you get those, they keep re-emerging. It's kind of a problem the rest of the night. 1st and 10 for the Dogs at the Trojan 36-yard line. Joy hands off. Granados trying to bounce it left. Caught in the backfield, breaks free, and brought down at the 29. That might have been Salas. It is Salas. Salas brought down at the 30. He gained 6. I thought he was going to lose 2.
Yeah, Salas is more the speed back. Granados is a combination of speed and power. Salas is probably a little bit faster, but he doesn't have the ability to finish a run the way J.J. Granados can. And when I talk about finish, I'm talking about driving through defenders and always falling forward at the end.
22-13 Bulldogs, 3:49 to play in the third quarter. Calzada and Hernandez wide to the right. They empty the backfield. Salas goes in motion. And Joy on a quarterback keepers at the 25, knocked down at about the 16, and that's going to be a 1st down. And that's the 21, I beg your pardon. It's a gain of 9 for Joy, though, who's got 75 yards rushing, 129 yards passing, and 3 TDs on the Uno stat update.
Brad, when you're smaller but faster, you need to have more players, and because having guys going both ways as the Trojans do, it goes back to what you talked about earlier. They're getting worn down.
They really are, and like I said, it's just, you know, you're going so hard in a game like this where every snap counts. You've got to be fresh on every play, and Mayfield just doesn't have the depth right now up front. 1st
and 10 for the Dogs at the Trojan 21. Granados takes a handoff. He's got a Nice size hole to go through and has good yardage dropped at the Trojan 13. That's a gain of 8. And that brings up second down. A lot of after the play pushing and shoving and little confrontations all of a sudden again. They had that cleaned up for a while, and now it's starting to reemerge.
It's definitely starting to reemerge. I think it's obviously the tiredness, and Mayfield's trying to get jacked up to try to play defense. Cruces wants to put this thing away. We forget these guys have been playing against each other since they were in 5th grade, 6th grade. They've seen these same guys over and over and over. So it's just a lot of attitude, a lot of pride in a lot of these cases though too.
Second down and 2 for the Dogs. The ball at the Trojan 13-yard line. Good snap to Joy. He's going to keep. Starts looking left, then heads up the middle. Finds a little bit of a soft spot and does get a first down at the 10. There was no hole there, but they got enough of a push where he picked up 3 with really no hole, and it's a first down and goal.
And it's going to be the ultimate first down and goal. It's going to be 1st and 10 as the ball is just. The nose of the ball is just across the 10-yard line.
1st and 10.
Well, they got the chain still standing, but I think they can dump those, and now they do. 2:06 to play in the third, 22-13. Las Cruces High with the lead on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard, and the Bulldogs have elected to take a timeout. We'll spend one as well. 22-13 Cruces. 1:58 to play in the third on the State Farm scoreboard. Agent Dan Garcia bringing you the scoreboard this quarter. Back after this. Second and goal inside the 1. Bulldogs thought it was a TD, but the referees didn't, and that's all that matters. It's a gain of 9.
Well, this is precisely where they were in the first half, and then had the unnecessary roughness or personal foul after the play was over, and sent them back 15 yards. But they're in strong position here. Second and goal inside the 1.
Second and goal for the Dogs. The ball marked for play at the Trojan 1-yard line. Joy underneath center. Joy pitches to Granados, juggles it as he heads towards the line of scrimmage. Off right tackle, he's in. Touchdown.
And that really gives the Bulldogs a stranglehold in this game. 28-13 with an extra point yet to kick. And I don't know that the Trojans have an answer at this point, because I'm not sure they can move the ball consistently enough. I think they might get an occasional big play, but I don't think they can keep moving the chains down the field. And I'm not sure that they have an answer to the power of the ground game of the Bulldogs.
Well, it's just hard to be consistent when they've got the horses on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Snap a little high. Good job on the hold by Joy, and Garcia boots it through there for the PA team. And that makes it 29-13. Las Cruces with the lead on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
And yet another touchdown for the Las Cruces Bulldogs, pulling the score 29-13. Emerson, there's 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Do you think Mayfield still has a chance to pull up?
I definitely do. I know that these football players have been working really, really hard, and Coach Bradley, I'm sure, has something up his sleeve. This isn't the first time that we'll be coming from behind, so I'm still very, very hopeful. What do you think, Courtney?
I don't know. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Dogs may pull a win. What about the fans? Do you have anything else to say about it?
Well, I think that they're doing a really, really great job, and even though it is a little bit chilly, everyone seems to be staying out here. So let's send it out to see how the third quarter ends.
Flag on the play.
Mayfield has the ball at their own 23. There is a penalty marker down at the 40-yard line. There's a minute 7 to play in the third quarter, and the Bulldogs with a 29-13 lead. Early on, the Trojans got the momentum in this game. The Bulldogs went 3 and out on their opening possession of the game. They punted. Mayfield took over at the Cruces 47-yard line. A nice ground game got them into the end zone, and they scored 4 minutes into the game to take a 7-0 lead. The Bulldogs answered with a field goal in the early second quarter to cut it to 4. Trojans fumbled. The Bulldogs scored on a TD pass, which capped a 55-yard march to make it 9-7 Las Cruces. And then Mayfield came back with an interception, a short drive, an Engelman interception, and an Engelman TD run. Gave Mayfield the lead with 4 minutes to play in the half. But the Bulldogs would go 76 yards right before the half to take the lead back 16-13 on a Joy TD pass to Calzada. And here in the second half, the Bulldogs have scored 2 TDs. Mayfield hasn't scored, though they've moved the ball. They did try to kick a 43-yard field goal that was no good, wide to their right. Penalty, they said, was unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bulldogs, but they didn't step anything off. Here's Kavika Johnson back to pass, looking long. Nobody's open. Now he's in trouble with nobody to go to because all his receivers are 45 yards downfield, and he's going to be sacked for the third time. A Trojan quarterback's going to be sacked tonight, and it's a huge loss of 18 yards to boot.
And the Trojans just do not need a situation where they have to go to the air, because the Bulldog defensive line can really put a lot of pressure on a quarterback, as they did there. And now playing catch-up, they're just going to rear back and come at the quarterback hard, and so it's going to be tough for the Trojans from here on out.
I know what Johnson saw there, nothing. But I think you just got to heave it out of bounds or something, because you can't really take 18-yard sacks. Counter play coming right. Bulldogs all over it defensively. Stuckey goes down at the 8. Flag flies after a gain of about 3.
You're going to have a face mask, Jeff.
So the play will stand if that's the case. Stuckey picked up 3, and is it the big one or the little one? It's the big one, and that's the 15-yarder. And that'll get the Trojans in a lot better spot than they were, as it stepped off from about the 9, and they'll move this one all the way out to the 24-yard line. Does that come with a first down is the question. I don't think it does. Let's check.
We're just marking this going to be third down, so I don't believe it does.
Yeah. Third down
well,
and 9.
Shouldn't they get the down over?
Rhetorical question until they can see the stick.
They're calling it second.
Yeah, they're changing it to second.
Yeah, the stick man was hiding the number on the stick for him. Well, he just flipped it to third down, guys. Anyway, 9 to go. We don't know if it's second or third down. Kavika Johnson coming right, 25-30, and he goes out of bounds shy of a first down. So the stick says third down right now.
And the scoreboard says second down. So
second time we've had that discrepancy. That is a gain of 6, and we'll see what down it is when we come back, because the third quarter is expired. It's 29-13. Las Cruces with the lead on the Dan Garcia State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
Here at Aggie Memorial Stadium.
You've got that right. We'd like to thank our sponsors again, Danny Gamboa from Casa de Autos,
and Corner Deli and Dion's Pizza for providing the shirts from Danny Gamboa and the food for all of our crew tonight. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for watching at home. We definitely appreciate it. Now let's send it back out to the field to find out what happens in the rest of this game.
End of the concourse. You have 7 minutes to claim your winnings.
And Brad Beasley here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Bulldogs had the 16-6 advantage in the second quarter. In the third quarter, it was a 14-0 advantage for the Dogs. So they've outscored them 29-6 since the end of the first quarter. Trojans with the ball on third down, and nothing there for Kavika Johnson. In fact, he lost a yard.
And it may be a situation here for the Bulldogs where they'll keep their defense in the field, because I'd certainly be thinking about a fake punt here, as it's going to be 4th and 5, because the Trojans got a big road to climb here to get back in this game.
4th and 4, they're going to punt. Jimenez stands back at his own 15.
But they do have Kavika Johnson in the short position, so you got to watch for the trick.
Snap goes deep to the punter, Jimenez, and it's another good boot. Holguin gets back and makes the catch at the 27, then slips and falls at the 26 and takes a shot as he's trying to get back up. So it's 1st and 10, the ball at the 28-yard line for Las Cruces. And now they're looking for the knockout blow here with 11:10 to play in the game, and they already lead at 29-13 on the Gus Gondura State Farm scoreboard.
Well, based on what I've seen tonight, if the Bulldogs just keep trying to move the ball and move the chains down the field, they can take most of the time off the clock. What they don't want to do is start playing the clock. Just say, let's keep moving the chains and go down and try to score another one, but that'll eat up most of the time in itself.
1st and 10, Bulldogs have it at their own 28-yard line. Jonathan Joy wearing number 2 tonight in their throwback jerseys. He's back to pass, ball knocked free, and Bulldogs fall on it. As coming up with it is Jacob Benegas saving the day, although they're still battling for it at the bottom of the pile.
Again, Devontae Weeks got in there and put a lot of pressure on Jonathan Joy. He was kind of frustrated that the Trojans did not come up with a fumble.
That would have been humongous. Benegas falls on it. It's a loss of 7.
Yeah, and a big play averted there by Cruces High. I mean, Weeks came off the edge. That was one of the best rushes I've seen him do, in a long time. He came around the edge and basically just made a fantastic play and hit Joy right as he was getting ready to release that ball. And just good play by Weeks, and missed opportunity for Mayfield on a big play.
2nd and 17 for the Bulldogs at their own 21-yard line. Joy hands the football off in a gaping hole for Salas. Salas veers off to the left after a hole to the right, and he gets down to the 32-yard line. So he gets back 12 of it, brings up 3rd and about 8.
Austin Salas, also a junior, so the running back core for the Bulldogs return again next year. So that means that if they have anything near the blocking next year that they have this year, they're going to have a great ground game again.
Third down, 6 to go. The ball at the Dog 32-yard line. Joy going to the air, fires underneath to Denmark. He has it, 1st down, and he's out of bounds at the Dog 42-yard line, gain of 10.
The 3rd time tonight they've run that play, each time with success, sending 2 wide receivers deep, crossing the tight end, in this case Sam Denmark, from right to left, underneath the defense, underneath the secondary, and first time it scored a touchdown, next time it was for a 1st down, and here it was for a 1st down again.
Normally on that play we see Cameron Dixon for Las Cruces High on that play, and he's been pretty quiet tonight. I think that's one of those keys that Mayfield probably had, was to stop Cameron Dixon, but that's that standard Cruces play, that drag tight end across the middle.
1st and 10, the ball at the Cruces 42-yard line. Handoff, right tackle. And a little bit of running room there, still battling. Now his forward progress stopped up at the 47-yard line. Picked up 5 when really there was no hole there. And that was Granados on the carry. No, that was Bishop, Jalen Bishop on the carry. So they had Bishop in there at the tailback spot for his 2nd carry.
A lot of fight. He did not go down easily. He was going to get everything. Of course, he had a big touchdown pass, the first possession for the Bulldogs here in the 2nd half. He was running free in the secondary and took it in easily.
8:45 to play in the game. 29-13, Las Cruces High with the lead on the Gus Gondura State Farm scoreboard. 2nd down, 5 to go. This time Joy will duck underneath center, pitch it to Bishop going left. Bishop to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, up the sideline. And he's collared at the 35 and out of bounds at the 34-yard line of Mayfield. It's a gain of 24.
That's a tired football team out there wearing green and gold tonight at this point, Brad.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, we saw that, halfway through the third quarter that Mayfield defensively just looked tired. I think if we had a time of possession meter, really running for how long Cruces has had the ball and how long Mayfield has been on defense, since about the middle of the second quarter, Mayfield's defense has just been out there so long because their offense hasn't been able to sustain long drives, and Cruces is really just methodically moving down the field.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Trojan 34-yard line. 2 tight ends. Joy pitches the football back. Salas with it. No, that's Granados. Granados weaves his way across the 30 to the 26. That's a gain of 8. 85 yards and a TD for Granados tonight on the Uno stat update. And there's an injured Trojan. Devontae Weeks a little slow in getting up. They've stopped the game for him, and then he gets up right after they blew the whistle. 7:53 to play. Las Cruces 29, Mayfield 13. Trojans own the first quarter.
Yeah,
since then it's been pretty much all Dogs.
And that's the adrenaline quarter. They're fresh and they can get by on their speed and adrenaline, but they've just been worn down. And it's really kind of been the game that we all predicted as we thought about it earlier today.
2nd down and 2 for the Dogs. The ball at the Trojan 26-yard line. Calzada goes in motion and takes off up the field early. And the Dogs now have 73 yards in penalties. 7 penalties, 73 yards for Cruces. And that turns a 2nd and 2 into a 2nd and 7.
Line of play. False start, Las Cruces.
And that's doesn't necessarily translate into something killing for this drive, because this is 4-down territory anyway, and the Trojans are having trouble getting anything stopped right now.
2nd down and 7.
So now it's 2nd down. About 7 to go. The ball at the 31-yard line. Joy takes a snap, heads left, up the hash, clobbered as he gets to the 28. Picked up 3 there. He's averaging 7.4 yards a carry tonight. Averages about 7 yards a carry on the season. 3rd down and about 4 to go. The ball at the Trojan 28.
3rd down and 4.
Third and 4. Ball at the Trojan 28-yard line. Long count. Trojans look like they might jump for a second. Joy now motions to his receiver, changing the play. And a timeout called for and taken by the Bulldogs with 6:24 to play in the game. Bulldogs in control of this one. It's 29-13 on the Gus Gonzara State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
This drive, that's what we've been looking at most of the time.
Halfway through the 4th quarter, Bulldogs up, and they're faced with 3rd down and about 4. Handoff to Granados, going left, finds an alley, and he's got it. 1st down all the way down at the Trojan 19. Picked up a nice chunk there.
1st and 10 Bulldogs.
And Mayfield continues just to not have any answers up front, and I think we expected that going in. We talked about how big Las Cruces High is up front, and they're just using that to their advantage right now, just wearing down a smaller Mayfield defensive line. It's just, that was what Mayfield couldn't get into, was a defensive struggle like this, and just couldn't go toe to toe.
First and 10 at the Trojan 19-yard line. Salas takes the handoff and heads left. Stacked up at about the 15, gain of 4. And it's second down and about 6. The Trojans have only given up really one big play tonight, and that's the one that kind of seemingly put it out of reach, which was the 58-yard pass to Jalen Bishop when the Trojans blitz. And they don't blitz a lot. Mike Bradley doesn't like to blitz. And when they blitz, they gave up the big play. That's why he doesn't like to blitz.
Yeah, and that was really the up to that point in the game, it was really the only blown coverage that the Trojans had. They'd really covered well in the pass, and since then, for the most part, the Bulldogs have not needed to pass. They've been able to do what damage they've done on the ground.
Second and 7, the ball at the Trojan 16-yard line. Joy fields a low snap. Has pressure from Franzoy. Pass into the end zone, incomplete. They were holding Franzoy. And a marker thrown. This is going to be holding against the Bulldogs. It was either hold Franzoy or give up a sack, so they held Franzoy. And nearly gave up a sack anyway. So he brought Franzoy again. Did Coach Rue and Mike Bradley on the defensive side of the Trojan staff. And that was basically the defense they scored the 58-yard TD pass against. Here they didn't leave anybody uncovered, though, so the secondary coverage better on this blitz.
And that's something that, as a defensive coordinator, when you are outmanned from a size standpoint, you really have to tell your players where we're going to go. You got to run some slants, some twists, and those kind of things up front, and say, all right, you're going to just attack this gap, and you're going to go here. Linebackers, you're going to go on this side, and you're going to attack that. Because right now, Mayfield's pretty tired, and just telling them to say, all right, occupy your area and play your position. That's really hard because, like I said, guys are really tired right now.
Penalty moves the Dogs all the way back to the Trojan 32-yard line. It's second and 23. So the penalty happened 3-4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. In college, they just mark that off from the line of scrimmage. In high school, they mark it off from where the penalty occurred. And they'll hand it to Granados, bouncing it to the left, 25-20. He's got the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Las Cruces High. J.J. Granados, 2 more TDs tonight, gives him 23 on the season. That's a 32-yard TD run.
And I think people underrate his speed. They say, he's like a 4.7 guy, but he's got an extra gear, and he got some open space and got some green out there to the left, and the play was very well blocked. It was not just him. He got very good blocking. The Trojans couldn't get there, but once he turned upfield, there was no catching him. And the Trojan faithful are beginning to clear the stadium.
72-yard march by the Dogs, overcoming that devastating holding penalty with a running play on the very next play. There's 4 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the game. The Garcia boot is up, and it's good. Las Cruces 36. Mayfield 13 on the day, and Garcia, Gus Gondra, and Ben Trujillo. State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football continues after this.
Oh.
The Mayfield Trojans would like to thank Texas Roadhouse for providing tonight's post-game meal. Thank you for supporting Mayfield football.
The game is getting crazy intense with another touchdown from the Cruces Bulldogs, making the score 36-13.
That's definitely right, but Trojan fans, hang in there. I still think that we definitely do have a chance. There's about 5 minutes left in the game, and who knows where it will go from here. So the crowds are still out here. The Trojans definitely aren't giving up yet. What do you think, Courtney?
I couldn't agree more, Emerson. The Dogs are spirited. The Trojans are just as spirited as well. And nobody is left. Actually, I think there's more people here than there was last quarter.
I think that that's definitely true. Thank you guys all once again for watching. Now let's send it out to the field for the rest of this game.
And the boot away, and Garcia squibs it. And it's taken at the 11 to the 15. Trojans to the 20. Trojans will return it up to the 27-yard line. So not a whole lot of time left. This one's been decided. The Trojan faithful, other than the student body, starting to bail for the parking lot with 4:32 to play in the game, 36-13. The 2 ranked Well, they're 2 ranked by NM Preps, but they're ranked number 1 in Max Preps, and the NMAA uses Max Preps in the seeding process on
And Jeff, just an
Sunday.
update with Max Preps, because Max Preps seeding does not come out till Sunday afternoon, so NMAA is actually using the rankings from last week to seed. So it's kind of a little bit of a controversy. We'll see where playoff rankings come out using those rankings.
First down and 10 for the Trojans at their own 27-yard line. Cerna swing pass, bubble pass, complete at the 26, up to the 31-yard line goes Thielen.
Well, when we think about the playoffs, Trojans don't have any problem getting in, but you would have thought, okay, they've got to win tonight or have a narrow loss to have a chance to hold on to that 4th seed, which would give them a first-round bye. Now, I think this being a convincing win by the Bulldogs, probably the Trojans will have to play that first week.
I would agree with you, Greg, and looking at the fact that Sandia also lost on the last-second field goal to La Cueva last night, and so I think Sandia's got that 4th seed. The bad matchup I'm seeing is El Dorado may be the last team in because they're winning tonight, so that might be a bad matchup for the Trojans.
Second down and 6 to go. Handoff, bouncing it left. Stuckey 35-40 up to the 43-yard line. Gain of 4. I think if El Dorado gets in, it's a joke. They finish last in their district.
They actually beat Monzano tonight.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. They'll finish last in their district.
Forget about it.
They don't have
last place teams don't belong in the playoffs.
And you got a Carlsbad team that's 5-5 sitting at home.
No, that's wrong. First down and 10 for the Trojans at their own 44. Cerna ankle high snap, fields it, throws it incomplete. Trying to hit a man out in the flat there and overthrows it at second down and 10. I mean, they're using Max Preps, which is a week behind. I mean, what is going on?
Well, and they changed the
nice
seeding
process. Huh?
Yeah, it's an interesting seeding process,
and done behind closed doors in secret.
Yep.
Second and 10 for the Trojans at their own 44-yard line. I'll have to say this though, I've always kind of thought the results of how things came out were all right. Cerna to pass, looks right, now left to the tight end Keeler, and he has it down at the 48-yard line, about 2 yards shy of a first down. Gain of 8.
Pass is complete.
Well, of course, when the Trojans won the state championship 2 years ago, they did so as a 6th seed, and that's going to be about where they are this year, 5th or 6th, somewhere around in there. And so, of course, that's what the Trojans coaching staff will remind their players. But frankly, this Trojans team is not as strong as the one was 2 years ago.
Third down, 2 to go. Of course, that doesn't really matter. It matters how strong is everybody else. 3rd and 2, Johnson going deep. Johnson for Bayless, and the pass incomplete. To me, I mean, El Dorado lost a Trisco heritage.
I actually misspoke. Actually, the game wasn't over yet. Monzano actually is now back ahead, 27-26. So that may solve itself. You can't have a 3-6 team can't make the playoffs over a 2. There's Gadsden and Carlsbad sitting at 5-5, which I don't think Gadsden deserves to get in, but Carlsbad could.
4th down, 2 to go for the Trojans. The ball is at the 43-yard line. Johnson looks left, nobody open, rolls right, gets rid of it. Nice attempt, and the pass incomplete. Good coverage by Hernandez. And it's a complete Bulldog ball.
I do believe as Kavika Johnson matures as a quarterback and as a junior and senior, he will become a good passer. I do like his passing motion, don't you, Brad?
He does throw a pretty good ball. He does have very good throwing motion and has a lot of skills. He's a lot taller than Cerna, who's the other quarterback for Mayfield. And I think as Johnson, as like you said, as a sophomore, will continue to grow, continue to get bigger, and he'll have a whole nother year practicing on the varsity level. I think he'll be a really good football player next year. And watch out his senior year. I think they have a really good crop coming up, for Mayfield. And Cruces right now, gosh, they got a lot of firepower on offense and defense right now, and definitely I think they're one of the top 2 teams in the state.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, the ball at their own 48-yard line. Joy pitches it to Jalen Bishop going left. He is hit and knocked down for a loss. Good defense by the Trojans. Battle into the end here. Loss of a yard for Bishop. 4 carries, 36 yards for Bishop. And just because I have a strong opinion doesn't mean that El Dorado can't make a case to get in. I think that's their job to make a case to try to get in. They beat Mayfield up there, but frankly, Mayfield had 3 turnovers. El Dorado had none. Mayfield had about 20 penalties for 2,000 yards. And it was anybody's ball game till the 4-minute mark. I think Mayfield would beat them again if they played now. But maybe they'll get to play next week. Maybe Mayfield will get to prove that. I don't think it's that bad of a matchup for Mayfield. I don't think they'll have 3 turnovers again. Handoff, straight ahead. Whistles blow before really the forward progress was stopped, but they're going to blow the whistles at the Trojan 40 after a gain of 13.
And the Trojans have 3 timeouts left. We'll be very surprised if they choose to use any of them.
Oñate falls big in Alamogordo. The Knights, who are giving up 32 points a game, gave up 47 to Alamogordo and were thumped 47-14. So this season ends on a thud for Oñate. Going over to Alamogordo and getting handled that easily has to be disappointing for the Knights. I will miss watching Curtis Hines play them.
Yes.
I thought he was a heck of a competitor. 1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at the Trojan 40-yard line. And whistles, flags, pushing and shoving, delay a game against Cruces. So they're going to survive 93 yards and penalties tonight and still beat Mayfield pretty handily. It's 36-13 with 1:36 to play in the game. So Mayfield won last year. Prior to that, Cruces had won 4 in a row. So Cruces will now have won 5 of the last 6 in this series. First and 10, the ball is at the Trojan 45-yard line. Good snap, handoff to Solis, bouncing it out to the left. Jonah Franzoy, good job to get out there and make the play on the edge, drops him for a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, the Trojans have never stopped playing in this game. They've been competing, but they just outmanned physically, and that's why the score is what it is.
1:18 to play in the game. So the playoffs will start next week. The top 4 seeds get a bye. So 5 would play 12, 6 plays 11, and so on. And then the following week, the teams that got a bye will play after a week off, and then we'll do it. The championship's not till like the 10th of December this year. Long football season. 2nd and 14, handoff to Solis, going left, finds a seam, gets it to the 39. Gain of about 5. That puts him up over 60 yards rushing on the evening, down to 36 seconds to play in the game. Looking at the potential matchups, Brad, not even guessing at the seeds, both Las Cruces and Mayfield owe a lot of people. I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of playoff football at the Field of Dreams after the first round and the second round. I think the Trojans will be at home next week, and the Bulldogs will be at home the week after in their first playoff appearance. And then I imagine both teams will have to hit the road as long as they advance, barring some miracle matchup that somehow ends them up at the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, the only game is Mayfield-Manzano would be back here in Las Cruces. That's about the only one.
And the clock has expired. The ball game over. Final score, Las Cruces 36, Mayfield 13. The Trojans were shut out in the second half. So the Bulldogs 36, the Trojans 13 on the Gus Gondura State Farm scoreboard. Bulldog and Trojan football post-game show brought to you by Allen Theaters comes your way next. What's your situation, Brad?
Memorial Stadium and all of the Trojans watching, but I think that it definitely was a very good game.
It was Go Bulldogs! An extra thanks to everyone who came out, everyone from the LCPS TV crew, Bill, Janice, everyone who helped make this happen tonight.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you at home for watching, and thank you so much for everyone for coming out and showing your school spirit. This has been Emerson Morrow
and Courtney Gavin. See you later.